Viewers, welcome to the YouTube channel H2O Chemistry. In this video, we are going to learn the topic chemical properties of metals. So this is a very important concept to understand the metallurgical process, and this chemical property of metal will give you a knowledge on how they react. Let us see the first point in the chemical property of metal. The valence electrons. Usually, the atoms of metals have 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in their last shell or valence shell. Here I have given the electronic configuration of first 20 elements. In this, you could clearly see the electronic configuration of elements. Hydrogen, in the case shell it has a 1 electron. So hydrogen is a gas, it's normally considered as non-metal. Come to helium, it is a noble gas. The K shell is completely filled. Come to lithium. The atomic number is 3. So the number of electrons it consists of is 3. In K shell it has a 2. In L shell it has a 1. So it has a 1 electron. So lithium is a metal. Similarly, beryllium. Atomic number is 4. So it consists of 2, 2. In K shell 2, L shell 2. So it is a metal. Similarly, boron. It consists of 3 electrons in the last shell. So 1, 2, 3 electrons in the outermost shell. If any atom have, we call them as metals. 4, 5, 6, 7. If any atom possesses, then we call it as non-metals. Some more examples if you look at it. Come to this case again, sodium. Atomic number is 11. So in the first shell, K shell, it has a 2 electron, L shell 8, and the third shell, M shell, it has a 1 electron. Similarly, magnesium and aluminium, 2 and 3 respectively. So if you see this, you can easily say these are metals. So from this, what we have found out is metal atoms usually have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their last shell, right? Now this is the general property of metal, chemical property of metal. The next property, the chemical property of next metal is formation of ions. We know that when the last shell is filled with 8 electrons, the atom acquires a stable electronic configuration. In doing so, let us consider some examples. For a first example, sodium metal. In the sodium atom, there are 11 protons and 11 electrons. So 11 proton contributes 11 plus, 11 electron contributes 11 minus, the net charge is 0. So the sodium atom is neutral. The electronic configuration, if you see, 2, 8, 1, the last shell has 1 electron. Now, when the sodium atom wants to be stable, it needs to gain 7 electron, or else it can lose this last shell electron, so that the outside shell has 8 electrons. So which is easy process? Losing 1 is easy or gaining 7 electron is easy? Obviously, losing 1 electron is easy process. So sodium loses this last shell electron and forms the sodium ion. Now in this case there are 11 protons, there is no change in the nucleus, but the number of electrons reduced to 10. So 1 is lost, so reduced to 10. So 11 plus 10 minus, the net charge is 1 plus. So now it is called sodium atom. So what you have understood here, the metal atom usually loses its valence electrons and forms a stable electronic configuration, like in the case of sodium it is 2, 8. So it forms a plus charge. We call them as electropositive. By losing the electron, the atom will gain a positive charge. That's the reason they are called electropositive metals. The next is, this process takes place by losing of electrons. So obviously, that's the reason the metal usually form positively charged ions by losing electrons. Similarly, for the next case, magnesium. The electronic configuration is 2, 8, 2. It means it has a 12 protons and 12 electrons. The net charge of neutral atom is 0. But during the chemical reactions, the last shell electron is lost, because in order to gain 8 electrons in the last shell, it needs 6 electrons. But Energetically, losing two processes is simple. In other words, gaining 6 electrons is a bit difficult. That's the reason it loses this electron and becomes magnesium ion. It has a charge 2 plus. That means it has a 12 protons, 12 plus it carry. Similarly, it has a 10 electrons and 10 minus, the net charge is plus 2. So now magnesium atom also form positive ion by losing the last shell 2 electrons. Hence they are electropositive. So this is the idea. So forming of ion, normally they form positive ion by losing their electrons. Come to the next point, discharging of ions. Okay, let us understand this idea with an example. So when you take an aqueous solution of sodium chloride or fused state of sodium chloride, that means molten state of sodium chloride, in the electrolysis process, right, there are two metal rods act as an anode which is connected to the positive end of the battery. The one electrode, another electrode which is connected to the negative end of the battery is called cathode. Now, what happens actually? So when you take the aqueous solution of sodium chloride, the sodium chloride NaCl forms Na plus and Cl minus. So ionization takes place. So here when you pass electric current, the ions are free to move in the solution. So the positive ions, that means the metal ion, sodium ions, are attracted towards cathode because it carries negative charge, attracted towards negative charge, and it gains one electron. It becomes sodium atom. It is deposited here in the cathode. Similarly, chloride ion will lose its excess of one electron, becomes sodium atom, and combines with one more chlorine atom will form a chlorine gas. So here the sodium discharged at the cathode. That's what the metal usually on electrolysis discharge at the cathode. Come to this copper sulfate solution also. Here the copper are attracted towards the cathode, whereas the sulfate ions are attracted towards the anode. So the metal ions are attracted usually towards cathode because they carry positive charge, the cathode carry negative charge, so they attract each other. The next point, atomicity. Normally, metal atoms are bind together with a metallic bond. So here we could see the metallic bond structure here. So metallic bond structure, this shows how the electrons are transferred, how the electrons are moved in the atom. So when you look at this picture, when the electrons are moved very fastly, you could see the picture like this. So it looks like the positive ions, the nucleus of an atom are there inside, and the electrons are moving. It looks like a sea of electrons. In that, positive ions are in fixed position. So this is we call metallic bond. So in the metallic bond, if you heat it, what actually happens? After heating, what happens? The bond will break because we are supplying energy. The energy breaks the bond, so it will become an individual atom. So now it takes up all its valence electrons. So you could see in an isolated metal atom in a gaseous phase, the valence electrons move in their own valence shell. So like this it will form. So now in the gaseous state or vapor state, all the metals are monoatomic. So they can exist as a monoatomic. For example, monoatomic, some examples are helium, copper, krypton, silver and carbon. So the metals usually are monoatomic in vapor states or gaseous state. So this is what you have to understand, my dear children. The next one, nature of oxides. Usually they form basic oxides. That means the metal oxides are generally basic in nature. For example, in this picture, if you clearly look at it, the magnesium ribbon is burned in the Bunsen burner. You could see the dazzling white color, bright white color light that is coming out of this burning combustion. Magnesium combines with oxygen and to form magnesium oxide. So the magnesium oxide, when you dissolve in the water, so when you dissolve in this water, and then it forms magnesium oxide plus water will form magnesium hydroxide. So this magnesium hydroxide, if you test with the litmus paper, especially with the red litmus paper, it changes the color into blue. So that confirms that this is basic in nature. That means the metal oxides are usually basic. That means the red litmus paper changed into blue. That confirms this metal oxides are basic in nature. The next one, reducing agents. We know very well that metals are good reducing agents. That means they are oxidized. We know very well that In the last case we have seen, in this case, let us come to this. The sodium atom loses electron to form sodium sodium ion. So in this case, the sodium atom loses this electron. You come to this category now. Generally pure metals, that means lithium, sodium, loses the electron, right? Loses the electron. So the metals usually undergo oxidation, because loss of electron is called oxidation. So the pure metals undergo oxidation, right? So all the metals undergo oxidation. The one which undergo oxidation is normally a reducing agent. So that is the reason we call metals are good reducing agents. On the other hand, pure non-metals gains electrons, right? Gaining of electron is called reduction. So the non-metals undergo reduction, but the substance which undergo reduction process is actually a good oxidizing agent. So that is an idea, my dear children. So metals are good reducing agents. So strong oxidizing agents are pure non-metal, whereas strong reducing agents are pure metal. There is an additional point you should learn. The next point is metal displace hydrogen from acids. Yes, you could see the reactivity series given here. In this, the hydrogen is taken as a standard. Above which there are some metals. These metals are having more reactive than hydrogen, whereas the one which is given below, these metals are having less reactivity than hydrogen. So if it is a case, when you take these metals, the metals above the hydrogen in the reactant series, if you take what happens, it replaces the hydrogen in an acid. Let us see some example. The magnesium plus hydrochloric acid. When you treat magnesium with hydrochloric acid, the magnesium is on the top of the series when compared to hydrogen. So the magnesium replaces hydrogen in that acid. So it will form magnesium sulfate salt, liberating hydrogen gas. Some other examples. The magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid, will form magnesium chloride plus hydrogen gas. So it liberates. Similarly, zinc. Zinc is also on the top of the series when compared to hydrogen. So again, zinc displaces hydrogen in the sulfuric acid and forms zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Similarly, iron. Iron is also on the top of the series. So when the iron reacts with this hydrochloric acid, it forms iron 2 chloride along with hydrogen gas. So metals usually displace hydrogens from acids. I hope this chemical property of an acid will be very helpful in learning the chemical property of metal. These 7 points are very important in understanding properties. I hope this video will be very helpful. If you like this video, subscribe and click the bell button to get the notification instantly. Share this video to your friends, let them learn. Like this video, comment if you have any doubt. Thank you.